Welcome back. We are continuing in this series in which we are asking the question, or at least we're answering the question, why do banks credit my account and why do banks deposit my account? Why do they credit my account when I deposit funds? And why do they debit my account when I withdraw funds? And we've been answering this question, and what we've said is they're actually right. The bank is actually right, and because they're preparing the accounts from their perspective and not from our perspective. Okay, now, so in this session, what we want to do is to go back to the double entry rules or double entry principles in the light of the answer that we've just given. Okay, so we've got three columns here: accounts to record an entry in the account, and we want to look at assets and liabilities, particularly those two, in the light of the deposits that we make and the withdrawals that we make in our bank accounts. Okay, so when we deposit money into our bank account, to us that's actually an asset. And an asset, if we were to prepare our own accounts when we deposit and when we withdraw funds in our books, we would debit the entry, and when we withdraw funds we would credit the entry, because to us that deposit is an asset. Okay, now, but we've said the way the bank statements are prepared, they actually view our deposits as liabilities. So the one we're really interested in is the one liability, because that's the bank's perception, that's their angle, that's where they're working from. They're saying when we deposit money into our account, to them it's a liability. And according to double entry rules, when a liability increases, you credit the account. And when a liability decreases, you debit the account. In other words, if I deposit $1,000 into my bank account, what the bank will do is they will credit my account because it's an increase in the liability. That's why when you deposit money in your bank account, it's shown as a credit. And on the other hand, if I withdraw funds from my account, that's a decrease in the liability, so they debit the account. So basically, using our accounting rules that we've learned, we were actually answering the question that when banks credit our accounts when we deposit money, they are correct, and that when they debit our accounts when we withdraw money, they're also correct, because they're viewing it as a liability. Okay, we then looked at capital, but we're not focusing on that too much right now. What we were focusing on are the assets and the liabilities. And with capital, if it's an increase, we credit; if it's a decrease, we debit. And for expenses, if it's increasing, we debit; if it's decreasing, we credit. Okay, good. Now, finally, let's go back and answer the question. When I deposit money and the banks credit my account, are they correct? Yes, they are. When I withdraw funds and the banks debit my account, are they correct? Yes, they are. Are banks following double entry rules? Yes, they are. They certainly are. So that answers our question. Why do banks credit my account and why do banks debit my account? Okay, thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next session. Bye.